Cheers ran on NBC from 1982 to 93, making it one of the longest sitcoms to ever air on network television. You might be shocked that it was almost canceled after its first season when it ranked low in the ratings, but after audiences began to realize just how great the show was, it eventually became a Nielsen ratings juggernaut. For 8 of its 11 seasons, it had a top 10 rating, including one season at number 1. Most will probably point to its incredible ensemble cast as what made it a success, and sadly, quite a few of the Cheers cast members have passed away in the 3 decades since the show ended. Join Facts First as we reflect on the Cheers cast deaths that fans still haven't recovered from. Nicholas Colasanto. Best known for his iconic role as Coach Ernie Pantuso on Cheers, Colasanto was born in Providence, Rhode Island, January 19, 1924. After attending Bryant University, Nicholas joined the U.S. Navy and served as a coxswain in World War II. Once discharged, he attended the American Academy of Dramatic Arts. Even though most remember him as Coach, he also directed many episodes of TV shows like Bonanza, Columbo, Starsky and Hutch, and Chips. He appeared in movies like Fat City, The Counterfeit Killer, and Raging Bull. Colasanto landed his role on Cheers at a point in his career when he was preparing to retire. During the 70s, he was diagnosed with heart disease, and his health had begun to deteriorate due to alcoholism. Even after getting sober with the help of AA, by Cheers' 3rd season, his health had deteriorated to the point that his fellow castmates were starting to notice. Soon after Christmas 1984, Colasanto was admitted to the hospital with fluid in his lungs. Ted Danson later recalled Nicholas had been having trouble remembering his lines during that time. He was released 2 weeks later, but his doctor urged him not to go back to work. But he continued to perform in several more episodes before having a heart attack and dying at his home February 12, 1985. He was 61. Colasanto's character was written off the show as having passed away. The unforgettable 4th season premiere, Birth, Death, Love, and Rice, dealt with Coach's death and introduced his successor, Woody Boyd, played by Woody Harrelson, in his first major role. During Cheers' finale in 1993, Ted Danson's Sam Malone walks over to a picture of Coach and straightens it. It was a subtle gesture, but nice to see Colasanto honored in such a way. J. Thomas. Born John Thomas Terrell on July 12, 1948, Thomas was a prolific actor, comedian, and radio personality. Some of his most notable acting roles included that of Remo da Vinci on Mork and Mindy and Eddie LeBeck, a goalie for the Boston Bruins, on Cheers. While he didn't appear in a great deal of Cheers episodes, he was still quite memorable. Eddie ended up dying in the episode Death Takes a Holiday on Ice when he was run over by a Zamboni machine while saving the life of another member of an on-ice show. At his funeral, it was revealed he'd been married to 2 women. To avoid being confused with Eddie's other wife, Gloria, Carla changed her surname back to Tortelli. It's believed the death of J. Thomas's character stemmed from unsavory comments he made about Phillip Perlman on a radio show, although he denied this allegation. After leaving Cheers in 1989, Thomas went on to play newspaper columnist Jack Stein on Love and War and talk show host Jerry Gold on Murphy Brown. He died of throat cancer August 24, 2017 in Santa Barbara, California at age 69. Hey, if you're enjoying this video so far, be sure to give it a like and subscribe to Facts First for more, and stick around for more of the Cheers members we've lost. Roger Rees. Born May 5, 1944, Rees was a Welsh actor and director, best known by American audiences for his roles as Robin Colcord on Cheers and Lord John Marbury on The West Wing. Rees was also notable for being a Tony Award-winning stage actor. He performed as the lead in The Life and Adventures of Nicholas Nickleby and gave another award-winning performance in The End of the Day. Rees's character, Robin Colcord, was an English multimillionaire industrialist. For much of the time he appeared on the show, he was the love interest for the gold digger Rebecca Howe, played by Kirstie Alley. This dynamic led to him becoming a rival of sorts of Sam Malone, since he also shared a romantic interest in Rebecca. Later in the series, Robin lost his wealth and status after being caught up in a legal scandal. After being sent to prison and stripped of his money, Robin and Rebecca hitchhiked out of town together in the season 11 episode, It's a Mad, Mad, Mad Bar. Rees was diagnosed with brain cancer in 2014. A year later, he died at age 71 at his home in New York on July 10, 2015. Keene Curtis. This character actor was born February 15, 1923 in Salt Lake City. Some of his most notable roles were in the films Silver, Heaven Can Wait, and Dark Shadows, The Vampire Curse. He was a lifelong member of the Latter-day Saints Church. He had a recurring role on Cheers playing John Allen Hill, the owner of Melville's restaurant. Curtis died from complications stemming from Alzheimer's disease October 13, 2002, in a nursing home in Bountiful, Utah. He was 79. Harry Anderson. Born October 14, 1952, Anderson spent most of his acting career on television. He's perhaps best known for his leading role of Judge Harry on Night Court. He later starred in the sitcom Dave's World. Anderson appeared in 6 episodes of Cheers as Harry the Hat Giddies, a lanky, well-dressed man who wore glasses, suspenders, and his trademark fedora hat. Giddies frequently tried to swindle customers and employees of the bar with a handful of short cons. As such, he was never quite welcome there. Post-Cheers, Anderson continued to act until 2014, when he gave his final performance in the Christian drama film A Matter of Faith. In January 2018, Anderson had a series of strokes after a bout of influenza. He died in his sleep at his home in Asheville, North Carolina, several months later on April 16th. He was 65. Al Rosen. Born Albert Rosen on May 9, 1910 in Maryland, Rosen got his start acting in several films in the 40s. In the 70s, he worked as a production supervisor on the TV program What's My Line? In the 80s, he experienced a bit of a second wind with his acting career when he was cast in a handful of TV series and movie roles. The most notable role from this period was the recurring character Big Al on Cheers. Al was frequently seen, albeit briefly, throughout much of the series' run. He normally sat at the back end of the bar, typically dressed in a plaid blazer or suit, and always in his signature hat. He spoke with a deep, gravelly voice and occasionally switched things up by sitting at a table. Rosen died of cancer August 2, 1990 in Hollywood at age 80. The season 9 episode of Cheers, Norm and Cliff's Excellent Adventure, was dedicated to him. Phillip Perlman. This actor and businessman is probably best known for being the father of Rhea Perlman. He was born in Poland, August 15, 1919, and started acting after retiring from his career in the toy and doll industry. On Cheers, he played Phil, appearing in more than 140 episodes. He later reprised his role on the Cheers spin-off Frasier. Phil was one of the Cheers barflies. He was an older gentleman who typically sat by himself at the back left of the bar near his buddy Al. Perlman appeared in several films throughout his acting career as well, including Throw Mama from the Train and Man on the Moon. He died of natural causes in April 2015 in LA at age 95. Now it's time to hear from you. Who was your favorite Cheers character? Let us know in the comments section below. And before you go, make sure you give this video a like and subscribe to Facts First if you haven't already. Click the bell icon to stay updated on all our latest content.